Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So we wanted to share with you a very brief update from the Galactic Federation from Laurel, who is a Pleiadian and one of our main contacts, really our main contact. At certain times, we have another contact when we're like more directly threatened, typically. But we did want to share an update. It has to do with the quote unquote experimental explosion that happened in Florida for the second time at exactly the same magnitude as you see over here off the coast. And, there's two of them about 1 month apart. And the official explanation is that this is just testing the hull of the Navy's newer ship and, nothing to see, move along. Well, what we got was it was something very different and not exactly experimental in nature, or perhaps it was.
I know, and even if that is just testing, isn't that a little dangerous?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
But typically, this is supposedly what they do on a regular basis. But we got a very clear message from Laurel. Now, this is with Cindy in trance. So here she's under. And sometimes she doesn't always have to go under. Most of the time we can get answers, but we have to reach out that way. Whereas when I do mantras, often it puts Cindy into a trance. And if there's something urgent that they want to get over to us to relay to you, then Laurel will come through. Other beings have come through at different times as well. And some will say, how do you know? How can you vet them? When your abilities get to the level where your Kundalini is fully activated, all your chakras are open, Kundalini is activated, there's just a knowing, there's a signature that comes through, an energetic imprint. When you could read those energetic imprints, right away, what it is. We work on many people every week, and often, almost every time, honestly, when we get the email, we know the energy involved.
Yeah.
We know exactly what's going on as soon as we get the email. So it's like we could see, sense, feel whatever is happening with that person, whether it's entity related, which often it is, because they take the opportunity to, basically take any sort of opportunity to jump in at an opportune time for them to feed and to keep, spreading the darkness. When we think of things like demons that were portrayed in medieval times, a lot of the people that were seeing these beings probably did have natural abilities and were just relaying what they saw. And there's all sorts of beings. And again, as we've said so many times, I've said so many times, not all extraterrestrials and interdimensionals are demons. And, to just say that when we know by firsthand experience that they're not, but there are demons. There are demons. And you're going to hear two thumps in what I'm going to play you that is a demon that was actually trying to attack Cindy to keep this message from coming out. And, thankfully we had help from the other side as well. We've been able to, I guess you would just, call them exorcisms in a way, getting rid of so many entities. I have for years now, for over a decade, cleared entities from people countless times on a regular basis, a daily basis. And, using various techniques, but one ritual that works super good, which I'm going to give you a link for that we have it on our mantra playlist, which really, if you do this ritual, I was doing it twice a day forever. Now, when we work, I probably do it 15 to 20 times every single day when we're working on people, and when we're not, usually once or twice, just because it strengthens the energy, your aura. It clears negative stuff from your space course, like right now, as we're doing this, we have the routers on and everything. So, you know, you basically have a highway for these beings to come across, whether we're talking smartphones, smart TVs, whether we're talking Wi-Fi, whether we're talking the 5G towers out there. This is a super highway for them to travel on, and there's access to them always around.
And it's been put together by the controllers and these entities because they do work together. So they did install the technology very much for this purpose now. So it's easier for people to be subdued, taken over, have misunderstandings, think that, well, this thing happened to me, when really it's something that sees that you're trying to move up a level, and it's going to suppress you. So this is very much orchestrated with this, with all of this technology.
It is. It is. Exactly. The technology is there because the controllers created this whole platform to facilitate the easy movement and control of the masses by these darker forces, some of which truly are demons, most of which are what we would call demonic, in that they are dark, in that sense that they don't care about free will. They view everybody as just an asset, as cattle, as just like a tick, a leech would view any animal it's jumping on. Any sort of predator would just view anything as prey. That's basically how they look at everything on this planet. So I'm going to play this clip for you guys. Again, there's two big thuds, and that's this demon. And right off the bat, usually it's a gray, and with us, usually it's one of the bigger grays because they're the ones that are in control, more in control. But this was actually a demon that was basically walking on the wall and right over our heads and attacking Cindy in the ether, basically trying to give her a heart attack is what it was doing, trying to keep her from communicating, keep Laurel from communicating through what really happened. So hopefully this comes across well. It's faint at first, and the volume is all the way up.
Hello.
Hello, Laura. It's good to hear you.
Hello. The actions today taken by us to stop the missile from reaching your shores was very necessary. We don't like to overstep our boundaries, but they were out of ow. Mm.
Is it a hypersonic missile?
Mm. Something that could have done too much damage and harmed too many people. It would have turned everything even more out of balance. So we had to stop. We don't feel that they're going to try this again. If they do, we'll just stop it again.
Was this nuclear?
Nuclear in nature. Nuclear in nature would have been very devastating.
So they were going to use this to instigate the big global war?
Yes. Mm. Can you make the channel?
Yes.
So yeah, those two big thumps that you heard was the thing crawling on the wall, trying to stop the information coming through. Somebody had said before, why would they stop something like this and not stop the whole plague upon the land or the whole cure for the plague upon the land, if you know what we mean? And that's because people are making their own decisions on an individual basis, just like if you go to vote, you're basically voting for the system. Either way, whether you're choosing right or left, you're still basically acknowledging and saying, I accept this system.
Right. There's a system in place. The controllers have put a system in place, and people are willing to step forward and take advantage of this control system that they have put in place. Therefore, we are using our free will if we choose to partake. So this plague upon the land and everything else, well, people are choosing to partake in it.
Yeah, and so at this point, there's been no gun to the head, so to speak. There's definitely arm twisting involved, and there'll be more arm twisting involved for sure. But again, it's being done in an individual basis, and sometimes we make decisions and we give our consent even when we're not realizing that we're giving our consent. The other thing too is that these type of weapons, the NUKE style, they actually affect other densities, other realities. They literally tear holes in time-space continuum. So they affect so many more beings on a big scale that it becomes a galactic issue. Not that didn't stop Hiroshima or Nagasaki from happening, or others in the far past as well. Now, when we go into the cycles, and we've gotten that the Yuga situation is very real, and humanity goes through an area that is very lower vibrational on a repeated basis. This Earth has gone through this, and each time through, they're able to set up and start a control grid and lock people down and try to keep people in it. And again, it's all about keeping people in it in order to secure their cattle, secure their herd, their flock, their food supply, so to speak. Because if they could get people to lower their vibrations, and when we look at this, when we came out of the last, golden age, we were definitely fifth density beings. We were very high vibrational. We were like the devas, the gods, quote unquote, themselves, with tremendous abilities. There's Chinese legends that say humans back in the golden age used to be able to fly. Think in terms of Thor and things like that. That's basically what you have with humanity in general. Not that we're perfect, but we definitely have a lot more control over the fabric of our reality, as it's more of a lucid dreaming when you go up into the higher stages, and it's like magic. You could just manufacture things out of thin air. It's not like planting the seeds here in 3D and slowly waiting for stuff to grow. And that's where we're going now as well. So we have to be very careful about the seeds we do plant, because they'll bear fruit quicker, positive or negative. And that's something we have to always keep in mind, as we need to work on ourselves in a spiritual way, first and foremost. Now, you don't have to use the ritual that we've recommended. You can modify it. And it's right over here, a ritual to clear unwanted forces, energies from the space. It's a lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. You can modify it. I've used a modified version many times in several modified versions, or you could use it as is. It does work. It calls on the power of the archangels. And, they're very high power beings, highly charged beings that do clear the space very, very quickly of anything dark. So we want to share that with you guys too, but definitely work on the spiritual side of things. And we've cleared spaces, and we've gotten rid of different dark entities using different mantras as well. Durga is a very, very powerful, powerful being. That is basically the energy of all the mother goddesses combined when you get down to it. And that can be a very, very powerful force for clearing any sort of negative energies away.
Well, I really enjoy using Durga if there's a situation that I'm unsure about which angle needs to be, which angle I need to go at it from, because Durga, she seems to assess the situation and she'll come at it at a certain angle where she helps you and still has harmony She's just very beautiful, very dynamic. Go to her with anything. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, and we were delving deep into Tara as well, and Tara is a bodhisattva of compassion and an amazingly deep, powerful being as well. So there's a mantra there for peace, and also she will protect as well, and so will Isis. And we have a mantra down there for Isis. You know, she's very strong and self-assured and powerful, and that mantra can also clear away any sort of negative energies. So, you know, you could use whatever is comfortable for you and you resonate with. It'll be those that were born up such that they'll only call on Jesus out of the name of Jesus because that's what they've been brought up with. As we've said, you know, his name was actually Yeshua. And so again, it doesn't really matter in a sense because when you get a billion people or more, several billion people throughout the years, believing in something, there's an energy current there that's very real and very palpable and very tap-inable. So even if there never was an actual Jesus that walked the earth, there is an energy current because there's so many people that believe in that name. So then you could tap into that. You know, that's how this works. It's all energy. It's all energy. Everything is energy. Everything is consciousness. And, you know, all the benevolent beings, they just simply want to help. They want to help people. And, you know, they're not fighting amongst each other. They actually work together and, you know, often do work together. And sometimes they'll refer out to another, so to speak.
Yeah. That's definitely something that I learned to do when I first started to wake up is if I was seeing results that I wanted in my 3D life and I'm not understanding the pathway, I'm not understanding, I would ask, please bring me some understanding or, you know, give me somebody who can help with this. You know, I know it sounds kind of awkward and goofy, but you got to be detailed when you're asking for stuff out there. And you have to be personal, you have to be intimate, you have to be honest. And it pays off when you get closer and closer in touch with yourself.
It most definitely does. You know, it's an amazing thing because these beings are there. They're up on the higher densities. Most of these beings are in fifth and sixth density that we're talking about. And in the golden age, often we could actually even see them when we're in that higher vibrational frequency, when we're aligned with our higher self. So we just wanted to share this update to you guys. Thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. Please do check out Medicinal Foods. Great people and great products, and it could help lift you up in vibration as well and give you some support because we need that support. We will have some updates coming. We have a great interview coming that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys as well about somebody that not only survived but thrived against stage 4 cancer and did it completely naturally.
Very, very wonderful, stunning human being. Just beautiful being.
Yes. As always, guys, God bless. Namaste.
Namaste.